Hi friends, Alta is the new legend in Apex Legends Season 21. She brings a really useful positioning meta that kind of combines elements of Wraith, Loba and Ashe. You know I'm a Loba main and I used to main Wraith before Season 5, so I've really been enjoying playing Alta recently, and I thought I'd put together this little guide showing you everything you need to know to get to grips with how to use her abilities the best way possible. Let's start with Alta's class. She's a skirmisher, so don't forget her class passive of revealing care packages. The main benefit of that is it's going to give you your extra evo points to help you level up your evo shields. Alta's passive is called Gift from the Rift. This is a Loba-style ability where you can see death boxes through walls and take one item from it. The radius of this ability is about 75 meters, which is a pretty fair distance. It means you'll be able to cover most of the big POIs. All you've got to do is simply look at the death box and press your normal death box interaction button, and you'll open the death box and be able to take out one item. The value here is that it keeps you on the move. It means you don't need to run all the way over to the death boxes to get ammo or heals. Instead, you can reduce your looting time and get into more fights faster. And that brings us to our first tip for using Alta's passive. You can use it as a way to see where people have died. A lot of people just kind of look at it, think they don't need loot and then look away. But actually if you think about it a little bit more like Ashe's ability where she can see death boxes, you can use this as an indicator to tell where enemies are, or at least where enemies have been. Oh, and by the way, you don't have to take an item out. Another tip is that you can use it to see what's in the death boxes before you decide which one to go and loot. It means you can be a little bit more efficient with your looting and focus only on picking the death boxes with the items that you need. For example, if you need ammo, you can quickly check a few death boxes from far away to see which ones have the ammo you need. So use this ability to see where enemies are or they have been, and also use it to speed up your looting. Moving on to Alta's tactical. This is called Void Passage. You create a breaching portal that can be placed on ceilings, doorways, walls, mountains, pretty much any structure with an allowable depth, which is 20 meters. Unlike Wraith's portal, which places where you stand, however, this portal can be placed ahead of you within a 45-meter radius. It means you don't have to be physically touching the surface to be able to place the portal. The other good thing about the portal is it lasts for 15 seconds, and the cooldown is 30 seconds. Meaning the downtime of a portal is really only 15 seconds. This can then be reduced significantly with your level 3 upgrade option, and even less time, down to just a few seconds with the addition of a gold helmet. In terms of directions, you can place the portal on a surface above you, and it will then drop a line down for you to interact with, kind of giving you the verticality that you might get from a movement legend like Horizon. I found the drop down line comes on any horizontal tactical you put, so basically anything you put facing above you, that's going to give you that line to phase you upwards. If you place it vertically, then you won't get a line to interact with, and that means you're going to have to jump, walk, or just move through that portal. So something to bear in mind in terms of the angle that you're actually placing your tactical, and that will then define how you get to use that tactical. A few tips on how to use her tactical more efficiently. My favourite is using it as bait. You can either trigger the animation and then cancel it, or even just place a portal in a location around an enemy, especially if they're behind a door, and you can use it to trick them or distract them. This lifeline here is a perfect example. I swear she's not a paid actor, but my portal perfectly bamboozles her, so I can then move out the door, and as you see I get that kill. Now when you take the portal you will be in a phase state for 1 second, which obviously stops you from shooting, kind of like the phase runner on Olympus. You will be able to identify enemies when you're through that phase state though. However, on the flip side, enemies can obviously see you as well, so you'll need to make sure you're taking it while you're being aware of what's on the other side. Also, it's worth noting that you don't have to take the portal straight away. You can place it and either use it as a backup in case you need it later, or you can place it down, maybe have a little bit of an engagement with an enemy, and then jump through it to reposition. And that can be very useful if you think there's going to be a third party nearby. Another trick is that you can place it vertically above something like a doorway, so when someone kicks down the door, you can climb up to go through the portal. And I often find this one does bamboozle people because by the time they've kicked the door down, they don't actually see that you've jumped through the portal. And another tip to go with that is if you place the portal on a piece of a wall that requires you to climb up the wall a little bit before you can go through the portal, this is a great way of slowing people down from following you, because that climb animation that they'll have to do gives you an extra few seconds to get through that portal and get away. Oh, and just a little fun one, you can portal nap people. Like if you see someone pushed against the wall on the other side, you can actually fire your portal to there, and because they're leaning against the wall, it will effectively pull them through. Also, don't be afraid to use enemy alters portals. As with your own portal, enemies are able to use them, so you can go through out the other end. Especially if they just place it down to push you and you want to get away, there'll be a few second delay before they can go back into the portal. So if you jump through that portal straight away, they won't actually be able to instantly follow you back through it. Also, a final thing to look out for is that one of Alta's upgrades, her level 2 upgrade, adds a recon element to her tactical, where it will then show you enemies' health bars as you go through it. That can be pretty useful as well. Finally, let's move on to Alta's ultimate, Void Nexus. You place a device in one location and you and your teammates can then trigger that device to pull you back to it at any point in the game. It's worth noting that you and your teammates only get one use of the ultimate once it's been deployed. Plus there is a range limit of about 200 meters. If you check your map or your mini-map, you'll see that purple circle surrounding where you've placed your ultimate. That is essentially the radius that you can use it in. The device itself lasts 120 seconds, or until every teammate has used it. There is a level 3 upgrade though for Alta, which makes it indefinite, meaning you can pretty much just place it down and use it at any time. If you wanted to, as Alta, you can also destroy it yourself. You just press down on the D-pad if you're on controller. It's probably worth noting that enemies are able to destroy your ultimate as well. It's got about 130 HP before it gets destroyed, meaning you don't really want to be putting it out in the open. Try and put it somewhere that's fairly well hidden, also somewhere that if you go back to it, it's going to give you a fairly decent advantage of picking up any fights, maybe some high ground for example. In terms of cooldown it's 3 minutes, but there is a level 2 upgrade where you can reduce that by 30 seconds. And let's just talk about a few little tips I can give you to use Alta's ultimate a little bit more effectively. One important thing to note is that you can use it when you're downed. Obviously that won't help you for solos, but in any other mode like trios or even ranked, it's going to be a great reset tool. Also, if you've already used your one use of her ultimate, but your teammates haven't, you can still piggyback off your teammates' use. And that's because anyone that uses the ultimate will leave behind a little bit of a rift for 10 seconds. And that rift allows anyone to jump through it and follow you back to your ultimate. A few other tips or things to look out for: there is a bit of a wind up time to trigger the ultimate. It's about a few seconds, so I'd strongly recommend not trying to go back to the ultimate while you're being shot at in the middle of a fight. If you can get behind cover or behind a door, then that's the best time to try and trigger the ultimate. In most cases though, you want to be placing the ultimate before you start a fight, and you want to put it in a fairly safe location that you can get back to. Having said that though, there are a few occasions where you can use it as a bit of a travel device. I found sometimes when I'm behind cover and there's someone looking at me, perhaps with a sniper, and I want to get to another piece of cover, you can kind of throw this forward a little bit of a distance. It's not that far, but it's a way to get a little bit of forward movement as Alta. And also the biggest benefit of this ultimate is that if you sense a third party pushing you after a fight or an engagement, it's a great way to trigger this and regroup either with yourself or with your teammates. And that's pretty much it. Those are the basics of how to use Alta and how to use her abilities more effectively. Personally, I'm really enjoying Alta, but let me know what you think of Alta in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, I really appreciate all the support. Got lots more videos coming your way, so keep a lookout. For now though, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.